Hi, I'm Callie and welcome to Kapowski Reads and welcome to Summerween. Today is Friday and I wanted to share with you my Summerween TBR. I know I did share my TBR in my TBR video, but I have since changed it because I can, but because I really wanted to change some of the books. So it is what it is. I actually now have 7 books that I really want to read over the next 7 days, and I realise that's a bit much, but I will give it a wee bash. So here are the books. First up is a book with a 5-word title. I had originally put on The Witches of Moonshine Manor by Bianca Moraes. I'm keeping this book on my TBR. I really want to read it and I'd love to read it this week, but I need to read The Death I Gave Him by MX Liu. This is a library book. It's due back at the end of next week, so I need to read this, so I had to put this on my TBR. But also, it's not just I need to read it, I want to read it. So I'm doubling up for this prompt and having 2 books, but I'm going to prioritise the book that I need to return as opposed to the book that I own and can read anytime I want. Book number 2 is a thriller or horror. I was going to be reading Camp Damascus by Chuck Tingle, but I'm going to swap it now for Natural Beauty by Ling Ling Huang because I really want to read this book and I have it on my TBR for the month, and I thought, why not? Why not try and include it in this video? And then we have a book that takes place during summer. I did originally have Summer by Ali Smith, but that book, I'm already reading it. I'm really enjoying it, but it doesn't feel like it's in the spirit of Summerween. I kind of want books that are a little bit Halloween-esque. Horror, give me some horror. That book is charming, it's poetic, but it's literary fiction. And it just doesn't feel like it's in the spirit for this readathon. So I've swapped my summer book to Camp Damascus by Chuck Tingle because I really want to read it. Me, camp equals summer. I know that there are camps all year round, but to me, summer. So I'm counting it. Even if I open a page and it's like, this book takes place in November, don't care. I'm counting it as summer. For a book with the night sky on the cover, I'm still going with Goblin by Josh Malerman, and I cannot just, it's a gorgeous cover. I think this might be one of my favourite covers of late. So no changes there. There's also 2 books I'm adding on that I think kind of work for most of the prompts, just not night sky. I've got some Goosebumps, vintage Goosebumps from 1997 that used to belong to me. I had, my parents come up often. They like Aberdeen. They came up at Christmas and dropped off a bag of books that they had been clearing out a cupboard. That cupboard is now a toilet. This is very exciting. I never thought I would have the day where my childhood home has 2 toilets. This is genuinely very exciting. I'm elated. And they had this whole big stack of books, boxes and boxes of them. And they took the books to our annual book sale back home where money's raised for a children's charity. So sell all of the books. And the ones they didn't sell, they brought me. So I have a bunch of childhood horror books that I want to read. I want to reread them this year, and I thought I would just add 2 on. I've still got 3 downstairs that I could easily fulfill the prompts with my childhood horror books, but I want to read some other books too. I really want to mix them. So I'm going to read these 2 and relive some nostalgic moments. These are from 1997. I was 11 when I had these books. So this is my revised TBR for Summerween. 7 books, 7 days. Maybe I'll try. I just really want to have a good time reading books, and I think I will. I am going to come back, give you daily updates. Hopefully I will have finished a book a day, but that feels maybe a bit much, but I don't know. We'll find out together. It's Saturday and we've gone into town. We didn't mean to. We were supposed to have a weekend of just rotting. Very excited for it because there were weather warnings, so we didn't plan to go out on Saturday as we normally would. But the rain stopped. The rain was so heavy all night, and it stopped at like 10:30, and we were like, shall we just go to town? We'll just go to town, because we had to go and get coffee. We've run out of, well, we've not run out. We're close to running out of our coffee for making at home. And also my favourite little cafe posted on their Instagram account that they had strawberry tarts on Tuesday. And I was like, please have these on Saturday. And I really wanted to see if they had strawberry tarts. And they did. So we went to town. I got a strawberry tart. I got a beetroot latte. I haven't had lunch and it's like 2 o'clock. I should have lunch. I wanted to share my reading update. Plans for the rest of today are I want to make some good progress in The Death I Gave Him by M.X. Lou, which I didn't know until I went to check something on Goodreads. It's a Hamlet reimagining and I've never read any Shakespeare. So I only know Hamlet from The Lion King. I'm fairly certain that there will not be any dance sequences, but I live in hope. So yeah, I plan to make a start on this today. I also am sort of thinking I maybe read one story from this as the week goes on, because there's 6 stories and that just kind of feels like that makes sense, and then let you know at the end. I don't know. I can't think like this before lunch. I have finished 2 books though, because yesterday we ended up staying up a lot later than we normally would. So it gave me time to finish reading 4 Goosebumps stories. There are 2 in each book. I'm only counting these as 1 book each though, because they are 1 book each. But technically they would count for the horror prompt. They would count for, well, this one definitely would count for summer. So with this actually, because we have a summer camp and we have a summer holiday in both of these, there's no night sky on either of them, and both of them have 5-word titles. We've got Piano Lessons Can Be Murder and Phantom of the Auditorium. I've read both of these books before. I got these books back at a Scholastic book fair in 1997, and I didn't really remember reading them because I've read a lot of books since 1997, but my parents dropped these off and I wanted to wait until, I was going to wait till Halloween to read all of my childhood scary books, but I thought I'll pop these on and have a little bit of nostalgia before I start reading my new books. And these were both fun. 4 different stories that were, directed for kids. So I'm not going to rate them because that feels really unfair to rate these books now that I'm all grown up, because I'm no longer the target audience. But for nostalgic purposes, these were fun and they were silly. And yeah, the characters felt really immature at points, but they were children, and I probably didn't think that at the time. I managed to guess the plot twists, but again, these books are for children, not for 38-year-olds who read these in 1997. So I had a good time with these. It was so nice just having that little trip down memory lane, and it just made me feel the nice warm and fuzzies about the little book clubs at school. It was just the highlight, where we would have, I think quite a lot of schools had the book fair, where they would just show up one day and they'd have all of these books, and you would get a book token and you would go and get like a book or 2. The more I think about it, I actually think that maybe this one was my sister's, because this book is in a far better condition than this book, and I was known to love my books too much. I also practiced writing my signature in the front of this one, but I won't show you because it's my full name. But I also practiced drawing a saltire, which is the Scottish flag. I don't know why. So it was so fun reading these. and I'm excited to read my other books. And maybe there is a chance I can get through 7 books in this week. I don't know. It's good to have a goal. It's not the nicest day, so I'm gonna just be spending the rest of the day indoors. Mr. Neighbour Cat is asleep on my bed, so I'm gonna be going downstairs to give him peace so that he can sleep on my bed. And I'm gonna start my way through this and this. I'll be back tomorrow to let you know how I got on. It is Sunday and all of our necessary housework has been done. Sunday is the day that we do like a decent amount of laundry. I like to change the bedding on a Sunday, and as boring as it sounds, I like to change the bedding pretty much as soon as I get up so that it can be changed, washed, dried, put away, and I can forget about a chore for the rest of the week. And this week we had a lot of laundry to catch up on. Everything was clean, everything was dry. We don't iron, we have a steamer, but like things get steamed if they need it. But we just had these piles and piles of clean laundry that had to be put away, and it turns out that today was the day that we did that, and it wasn't fun, it was boring, but it was necessary, and I'm actually really glad that it's done, because now we can start piling up laundry again. A never-ending task. But I have actually just, because that's all done, I can now just, the rest of the day is for me. I watched a little bit more Scooby-Doo this morning. I'm absolutely loving watching little fun cartoons that I haven't watched in forever. And I also started watching, I can't click my fingers, I don't know why I'm doing that. I Know What You Did Last Summer on Amazon Prime. It's a TV series. And I was really anxious about watching it because I loved I Know What You Did Last Summer. And I was a bit like, does it need to be a series? And I mean, very few things need to be made into a series when there's a film, but it's good so far. I'm halfway through, actually. Every episode's not too long, just half an hour or so. I watched the Scream TV adaptation when that came out, and I liked it. Like, I liked the movie more, but the series was good. It's a little gorier than I was expecting, but I'm okay with that. It's a nice little break between reading. I have made some progress. I'm now 3 chapters into The Death I Gave Him. I don't love it. I don't dislike it, but I don't love it. It's a Hamlet retelling, and full disclosure, we didn't read any Shakespeare at school. Shakespeare was studied by the drama in drama class, and I did not take drama because when I did the school nativity I cried because people were looking at me. So I have never read a Shakespeare book play, but I do have like a bind up of the entire collection, and one day I will read it. So this is Hamlet reimagined, and I know the bare bones of Hamlet through The Lion King, as I'm sure many other people do. So thank you, Disney, for teaching me Shakespeare. So far this appears to be kind of like a locked room murder mystery, which I like, but I'm just wondering if maybe the science fiction element of this book is too much for me. I don't think I read a lot of sci-fi. I used to, but I haven't for a long time. This is set in a very futuristic world where we are in a laboratory, and a guy is dead and his son found him. So like, a body's been found, lockdown has ensued. And it's interesting, it's just not, it's a very slow pace so far that I found it very easy to put it down. And I'm very worried that if I don't finish this by the end of Summerween, I am probably going to have to return it to the library unfinished, because my library loan runs out on Saturday. So it's going back to the library one way or the other. and I hope maybe I'm just not in the mood for it right now. But I hope I will come back to this later today. I've also started Goblin by Josh Malerman. I read one story and it's so fun. I really, really enjoy this. My plan is to read a story from this every day. I have read this first story. Well, there's an intro to the world. The world is called The World. The town is called Goblin. And I am really liking it so far. It's very strange. And I've just had that first story, which was about a friendship between these two men now. And it was a weird friendship that things escalated quickly, very quickly. And it was very tense and very kind of like, I knew where it was going to go. And I was like, no, it couldn't. But it did. So I very much enjoyed this. And yeah, plan for the rest of the day is I'm going to put this down, going to pick this up, going to play some Stardew Valley because that's who I am. And I'm kind of going to bask in the smugness of being up to date with laundry because that will only last until the end of today when I have to put my clothes in the laundry basket, and then it will no longer be empty and I can no longer be smug. Yeah, I'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow is my day in the office, so I'm going to get hopefully a little bit of reading done before I go in and maybe a little bit done at lunch, but only if it's quiet. Sometimes the office is really, really loud and I just can't concentrate to read on anything. And with the weather, it's been raining today. If it's raining, I can't sit outside. It's wet and I can't do that. So I will come back tomorrow with an update. Hopefully I will have finished or made progress in something other than Scooby-Doo. I'm watching so much Scooby-Doo. I'll be back in a bit. Long story short, I finished a book. I finished Goblin by Josh Malerman. This was not the book I planned to finish. I had planned to finish The Death I Gave Him. I have not made much progress in this book since yesterday. Like, no progress has been made. I did not pick this back up. But I did continue reading this. The original plan was that because it was 6 short stories, I was going to read a short story every day. But it was 6 spectacular short stories and I didn't want to ration it. I didn't want to spread that joy. I wanted to have all of the joy straight away. So I actually finished this last night, quite late, in bed. I loved it. I have never read this author before. They have written Bird Box, which I know is a film on Netflix. Yeah, Bird Box. And I think it's on Netflix. So maybe I'll see if I can watch that because I've loved this collection. It's all set in a small town called Goblin. And this town is so bizarre. Not in like your classic, I'm from a small town, so I can say it. Small towns are creepy and weird sometimes. This small town pretty much is constantly raining, Aberdeen has not stopped raining. As a side note, I don't think I'm gonna get to tick that box for reading in nature. Or I think it was reading outdoors. If it stops raining for more than 5 minutes, I'll read outdoors. But it's peltering down. Much like in Goblin, where it is pretty much constantly raining. And there are these weird police people who they're not quite human. There's something very otherworldly around them. And they're definitely living off their own laws. And it's such a strange town with these woods that are forbidden because there's like a witch who lives there. There are these owls who live there, killer owls, and it's just such an amazing town that I could read another series about. And while this was 6 short stories, it did form a novel and it felt like a completed novel. And I feel like each short story could work as a standalone, but I think it both enhanced the story before but also the story after. So I think it works so well as a collection. I absolutely adored this. I think they've got such a fun way of telling a story, and these stories were spooky and tense and a little chilling, but they weren't scary. Like, they were a little scary, but there weren't, but like a big, scaredy cat, wasn't terrified of them, but I was on the edge of my seat and I didn't want to read them too late into the night in case they got scary. But I absolutely adored this collection. I'm so grateful for getting this as one of my birthday gifts, and I will need to, I don't need to get back to my other books. I get to go back to my other books. So far, this is my highlight of Summerween. I am also partway through Natural Beauty. This is another book that I think maybe come Thursday, I do have some weight to go in it, but I think I'm going to be raving about this book too. Natural Beauty by Ling Ling Huang. I don't know a lot of people who have read this, but the people I know who have all loved it. And I think I'm maybe going to be in that side of things too, because I am currently maybe 100 pages into it. It's not too long, it's just 250 pages or so. And I'm in. I'm all in. I'm hooked. I want to know what's going to happen next. This is about a woman, a very talented pianist. She gets to work at a health and wellness shop where they sell very expensive lotions and potions to the hoi polloi, and she kind of enters this new world that she's not been exposed to before. The main character is a child of immigrants who worked super hard, saved every penny to send her to this amazing sounding but also terrifying sounding school for the gifted musicians. You can tell I don't know the proper terms. I have no musical talent at all. And she is sort of having to manage trying to work and care for her parents because there was an accident which kind of left her never returning to the piano again. I'm really loving this kind of introduction to this bizarre world filled with these people who've got more money than anything else, and I'm really liking the sort of, there's an element of I'm waiting for danger, I'm waiting for jumps, I'm waiting for something to happen because it's building, and I'm so excited. I am going to go and make dinner now. Today was my day in the office, as evidenced by my office dress. I made a curry a couple of days ago, so it's ready for today. We don't need to cook, just need to put the rice cooker on. And because of the buses, there's a huge wait for a bus. Not huge, it's like a 40-minute wait for a bus if I don't make the bus that is right, minutes after I finish work. So I didn't make that bus, and I ended up going to Marks and Spencer's just to get some bits to go along with our dinner. I was watching a Jess Harris video, and she went to their Marks and Spencer's, which is like a big London one. We don't have a big London food hall in Aberdeen. We have a little London food hall, little Aberdeen food hall. So I saw her video and all I could think was like, I really want to get poppadoms. I really want to get some nice sides for our dinner. So I picked up some nice things, which I will show you. And then I'm gonna just have dinner, have a cozy night in, and read more of, well, my 2 remaining books. And then I'll come back with updates. My colleague, I was in the office today, and my colleague had bought me this bag. It's gorgeous. She saw it when she was out and thought that would be perfect for Callie, and you know what? It was. And I needed to go to Marquis, so it was the bag that I took to Marks and Spencer's because I didn't have a bag. And I just wanted to show you what I got at Marks and Spencer's because I'm very excited. I'm also so hungry, so it's gonna get done like now. So here is my lunchbox. Very exciting. some naan breads because we are having a curry. I am cooking rice right now. I made the curry a couple of days ago, so it'll be nice and just delicious. I have chicken pakora because I saw them and I wanted them and I didn't have snacks today, so I'm really hungry. I got, these are for my partner, some peanut butter and caramel chunkies. I threw them. I got myself some mango chutney flavoured mini poppadoms. I wanted big poppadoms, but I couldn't find them and I didn't really have the urge to look too much for them. And then I got for me some Colin the Caterpillar. These are delicious. And I'm going to go and finish making dinner. I'm so hungry. This is our very lazy Monday night dinner. And the poppadoms will be, I'm taking them through. I'm not putting them on the plate. I've got too much sauce. Summerween has come to an end and I'm very sad because this was so much fun. I had started this vlog with the bestest of all intentions, or I was going to read every day. I was going to vlog every day, and remember those intentions, those goals I had to read 7 books in 7 days. Well, that didn't happen. Between filming on Monday, I didn't have time to film again until today, which is Saturday. The day before this video is going to be going up. My life got busy. I want to share with you the last book I read, but I also want to sort of give a shout out to the books that never quite made it because I just did not have the time. So let's give a little thank you for your attempts, but unfortunately you didn't make the cut, to the 3 books that I did not manage to finish, which were Witches of Moonshine Manor. I did not make a start on this, but I know I'm going to love it, and that is a joyful floppy paperback. And I didn't make a start on Camp Damascus, but this is on my July TBR, so I am hopeful that I'm going to get to it this month. For Witches of Moonshine Manor, I may put this aside for Winterween, maybe. I don't know. I think that this is so much fun. I think that this is going to be perfect for a future reading challenge, so I'm going to sort of put it to the side, but this is not getting put to the side. This is on the priority pile. And I had to go to the library today and I returned The Death I Gave Him. I hadn't read any more since last week and I had no desire to pick it up. I just think that there are so many books in the world, there are so many books in my house, that if I'm not excited to read it, maybe I just go read something else. So that was the thought process there, and it was due back at the library. That kind of made the decision for me. It was returned unfinished with another library book that was unread because, again, I didn't have the desire to read it. And so I took it back because somebody else will, and that's okay. But I did finish one last book, which was Natural Beauty by Ling Ling Huang. Yes, it did take me like 5 days to finish the last 100 pages of it. I just didn't have the time. I absolutely loved this book. And when I was chatting with my friends, we have our monthly catch up where we just sort of, it's like show and tell for 30-something-year-olds, where we just go, I read this book and I really liked it. And that is the entire of our, well, no, it's not. Most of our catch up is us just catching up. But then we talk about what we've read, what we recommend, what we don't recommend. That's usually the most fun part. But I was raving about this book and my friend Beth was just laughing at my description of the book because I was trying so hard not to give any spoilers that I just gave a description that made no sense. So I am going to describe to you what this book is about. Try not to give any spoilers, and hopefully second time lucky. This book is about our unnamed protagonist, who later we know as Anna, even though that's not her name. That is what she is known as. She is the daughter of Chinese immigrants. She is an extremely talented pianist. There was an accident when she was a child that resulted in her parents going into long-term care, and as such she stopped playing piano and just started working so that she could pay for these care home fees, which were super duper expensive. And she is offered this job opportunity at this luxurious wellness and beauty brand. There are lotions and potions and supplements. And every time I see the word supplements, I want to say supplements. I know it's not, but I just think that sounds better. That's completely irrelevant. So Anna strikes up a friendship with another woman who is related to the owner of this entire brand, and they have this friendship that, you know, maybe there could be more, maybe not. And her new friend Helen, something's not quite right with Helen, and Anna starts to find out that perhaps everything is not quite as it seems with this beauty brand, and that there's definitely more than meets the eye. She then gets another opportunity within this company to kind of delve deeper into it in exchange for a better pay and benefits, which she needs for her parents. Everything she's doing is so that she can pay for the care that they need, and it kind of drives her to desperation, where she accepts a kind of really kind of suspect opportunity. And it's a very weird book. I can't really say too much more about the plot because I will give massive spoilers, and I don't want to do that. I think that if you have enjoyed Rouge, I think you will enjoy this. However, I feel like this book is a much more linear plot delivery than Rouge, which I love Rouge and I love this. But they're kind of similar, but this one is definitely more of a traditional kind of storytelling flow. It's not, there are moments that are kind of a little bit hazy, a little bit of memory lapses, and things are a little bit woozy. I feel that this book is very much a little bit like a jigsaw puzzle that you're maybe missing 10% of the puzzle pieces. You have to try and work out what's happening between the scenes, and I love that. I love a book that's a little bit, what is going on? What on earth is happening? And it touches on so many subjects, including classism, racism, abuse of power. There are a lot of, I would check the trigger warnings going into this. There are things that are mentioned, not in great detail, but if that's something that you need to look at just to sort of protect your peace, please do. I really enjoyed this book. The ending was just, last 50 pages of this book were absolute just chaos, and I loved them. Loved them. This was just a bizarre whirlwind of a book that was so strange, but at the same time it was really weird, and you're reading it going, well, that could never happen, but maybe it could. That's the weird part. It's so strange, but you know, maybe it could. I don't know. Absolutely adored it. Highly recommend this. I have had the best week with these books, even though it ended up taking me I made Summerween last extra 2 days because why not? I ended up finishing 4 books, 2 of which were childhood favourite rereads, my little Goosebumps books, and 2 were absolute triumphs. I'm waving cat hair everywhere. He's not in right now, but his hair is everywhere. These 2 books, I gave Goblin 4.5 stars. I gave Natural Beauty 5 stars. what more could I ask for? These were just such a fun read for me. I didn't have the Summerween experience I was hoping for, but that was just due to timing and real life obligations. Unfortunately, sometimes, most of the time, like, that has to come first. But I did manage to get great books, watch some really fun TV series, kind of spooky or spoopy TV series, and I did watch a spooky film. I did not fill out my bingo card, but I'm okay. I had a great time and I found some new favourite books. I'd love to know what you read if you joined in with Summerween. If not, let me know what you've been reading lately in the comments, or if you haven't read anything lately and just want to leave me an emoji. I never say no to the unicorn emoji. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!